False Flag, Daddy Lesson by Hannibal Tabu and Ryan Thomas Riddle. Black Fury was, to be blunt, a very large man. 6 feet 4 inches tall and easily 210 pounds of solid muscle. His biceps rippled as he loaded ammunition into the War Pig, his ridiculously customized matte black 1996 Chevrolet G20 van that had more surprises than a gender reveal party in a minefield. From the outside, there was nothing unusual about it, but not a single part of this clandestine armored vehicle was recognizable from its Detroit origin. The bustle of Dangerwatch's Sentinel Station motor pool, with a thin morning haze burning off around the Golden Gate Bridge visible outside, went on around him with no one seemingly interested. Black Fury wore a loose, sleeveless black tank top with armholes that almost reached where it was tucked into his gold-patterned sweatpants. His skin was a shade or two lighter than the van, but not by much. He grimly moved to load the van with an expression of determination on his face.
Dressed like that? You're heading out for furlough, huh?
A voice behind him said. Black Fury looked up to see Operator sitting a few feet away. Skin the shade of a bowl of bisque, he had a green Special Forces beret snug on his head and toned arm entwined across a black mock turtleneck commando sweater. He sat with his camouflage-covered legs hanging over the concrete lip of the motor pool loading dock, swinging his heavy, well-worn combat boots to bounce off the black and yellow painted wall. He stopped to tighten the American flag-themed bandana that Nuance insisted he wear at all times and sighed at his friend.
Yeah, Ramon, I am.
Black Fury said tiredly.
Got a long drive ahead, so if you don't mind.
That's what I don't get.
Operator said.
You're loading America's van, but leaving for your personal time off. What kind of vacation needs depleted uranium ammunition? There has to be some kind of regulation against you doing this.
Operator continued after a chuckle with mild bemusement.
Don't care much about regulations right now, Ramon.
Black Fury said, pulling the van door closed.
Besides, Nuance and the boys in merchandising are always telling me, stay close to your vehicle in case anybody takes a video or picture of you, right? I'm taking some of my time off and the War Pig is coming with me.
Operator continued casually, walking over to lean on the War Pig's open cargo door.
Speaking of Nuance, I was passing by her office and it seemed some intel about Wrecking Ball popped up somewhere north of here. But somebody accessed the data. Somebody who doesn't know how to hide their digital tracks.
Picking up a duffel bag, the last thing on the wooden pallet holding his thing, Black Fury turned to look down at Operator.
Nuance doesn't know about the photo you copied from her desktop.
Operator said.
You also didn't bring the pig when we went to Oktoberfest in Cincinnati 3 years running.
Holding the duffel bag near the black left tire, Black Fury said calmly,
I think I learned that drinking and driving is a bad idea from the PSAs we do. I'm stone cold sober. Stop worrying.
He then stood his full height and walked over to where Operator was sitting in front of the War Pig. His bright hazel eyes looked coldly down at Operator.
I'm getting in my ride and driving out of here, Ramon.
He said with a slight hint of exhaustion.
Am I going to have any problems?
Operator smiled, holding both hands up.
Whatever is happening with you, I'm not getting in it, but...
Cool.
Black Fury said, quickly tossing the duffel bag in the passenger side door and slamming the door shut. Operator continued,
Just, go easy, okay? Nothing too public, please? If you need anything, I hope you'll ask, okay?
Black Fury took a deep breath and nodded.
Okay, thanks. See you in a few days.
Operator stood back as Black Fury walked around and got into the driver's seat. The van's V12 roared into life and the vehicle pulled out of the parking space. Black Fury looked into the sensor mirroring the functions of a rear view, seeing Operator standing, arms crossed again, feet shoulder-width apart, just watching him go. Sentinel Station was hidden underneath the Greater Farallon's National Marine Sanctuary, and the motor pool was integrated into an elevator platform under the sand of the beach. Black Fury watched the motor pool ramp that led to the parking lot on Marine Road pull up and then the whole assembly recede underneath the sand, the clandestine roof seamlessly integrated with the sand of the beach. The War Pig headed west on Marine and then cut south on Mason Street to head toward the 101 and relentlessly north. Normally, Black Fury liked to get pumped up with music. He had a 256 megabyte iPod Touch hooked up to the custom stereo with every note of DMX, Onyx, MOP, Group Home, and more. Security protocols prohibited him from installing a click or a smart link for Mathismatics, so he'd accepted this lower tech option. When he really got going, the rumble from the van's speakers could be heard from more than 2 blocks away when he did the move, but he drove in silence, letting the roar of the freeway and other vehicles wash over him. The 101 wasn't terribly busy, and Black Fury found his way past Sausalito and further north, past Strawberry and even San Quentin, before crossing the Richmond-San Rafael Bridge. He drove through Richmond, only pulling off the freeway at an In-N-Out Burger in Pinole to order 3 triple triples, a raft full of fries, and 2 huge root beers without ice. The War Pig could go almost 1,000 miles on a charge and use solar panels plus wind turbines in the grill to always pull in extra power, but he didn't even look at gas stations. The 80 opened up to him as the sun crested its apex in the sky, rolling into the massive I-5. Black Fury rolled down the windows and let his thick left forearm rest on the door, feeling the aggressive wind whip by. The miles and hours fell without conflict until the built-in navigation system directed him to pull off on East Minor Street in Eureka, a little bit south of the Oregon border. A 2-lane road called North Foothill Drive wound drunkenly to and fro until it found a private road that led loosely southward. Over the more coarse surface, Black Fury drove the Pig, winding through the erratic shifts in direction the path chose until he found a large chain-link fence a bit more than a half-mile from the main road. Sighing, he looked past the thick shrub, clearly artificial at this distance, to the single-floor craftsman home nestled 100 yards back. A simple mailbox was posted through the fence, labeled simply Garrett. 2 more sets of wire-top chain-link fencing ringed the property at equal intervals, and from where he was, he could see large, unpleasant-looking black metal spikes poking through the fake greenery. Black Fury tapped a button next to the trip odometer reset, and a soft chime sounded. The seat receded slightly, and a helmet on 2 mechanical arms swerved around from somewhere behind it. The sides of the seat opened up with more mechanical arms, extending to attach plates of armor segments and weapons around his arms and legs. A panel in the ceiling opened to let another set of mechanical arms bring down a chest plate and cross plate, both of which clicked into place with armor pieces that emerged from the seat. Whirring and clicks and connections continued for about a minute until it was finally done. The driver's side door and part of the frame near the front tire swung open, and his seat pivoted to gently place him on the ground. He stepped stiffly away, and the door closed by itself. A chime sounded in his helmet, and the words, "Auto security engaged," flashed over his forehead in the tinted display. He said,
And structure for usual activities.
There was no response. He sighed and continued.
Flaggie, scan structure for the usual activities.
Unable to comply.
A gentle synthesized male voice sounded in his ear.
Structure's composition prevents scanning. Electronic countermeasures in place.
She would.
Black Fury muttered.
Please repeat.
The electronic voice said,
Not you, Flaggie.
he said with disgust. Black Fury looked up, debating whether or not calling in satellite surveillance would tip his hand too soon, but ultimately decided against it. With a sigh, he started walking toward the house in the distance. The armor made it easy to vault the first fence, and he saw nothing like a driveway to make things easy. He made it about 20 feet before he heard a familiar voice spin out from some unseen loudspeaker.
You're trespassing on private property. But you knew that already.
Wrecking Ball's voice sounded across the quiet landscape. No matter what she was saying, it always sounded like she was making fun of you.
Please contact my lawyers at Hart & Associates to reach me. It's your safest choice. Oh, there's a brightly colored yellow line a few feet closer to the house. Cross it. And, well, you'll be sorry.
Black Fury kept walking forward, looking at the ground for any sign of landmines or aggressive tripwires. He looked up when he heard the loud clack of spring-loaded releases and saw what looked like a line of shotguns strapped to eye-shaped assemblages of wood planks that popped up in near-perfect synchronicity. At once, all of them fired, and Black Fury took 2 blasts in the chest, surprising him and knocking him on his back. Grunting, he got himself up and checked the armor. Clearly, what came at him were not ordinary shotgun slugs.
Damn drama queen.
Black Fury muttered.
Flaggie, damage.
No damage. 100% structural integrity.
Flaggie responded dispassionately.
Damn it, Patricia.
Black Fury yelled, amplified by the suit's speakers.
I just want to talk.
The quiet countryside offered no response, so on he continued. As he reached the line of shotguns, he saw a wide yellow line of plastic that was probably covering waterproof extension cord. He quickly glanced at the work connecting the guns to the wood and saw 5 sets of bolt and metal straps on each, a sign Wrecking Ball had done this work herself, and her voice rang out again.
Congrats.
She said snarkily.
You survived the shotgun defense. How do you like my little experimental ammo? If you've made it this far, you must be law enforcement or a bad actor who means me harm. Now, cross the orange line ahead, and well, good luck.
Another loud click cut off the recording and Black Fury sighed. At that moment, a red notification popped up, and Flaggie said,
Incoming call. HQ.
Wading through the thick vegetation, Black Fury angrily responded.
Not now.
Flaggie quickly came back with,
Priority override. Authorization. Jack attack.
a new voice came through the speakers inside Black Fury's helmet.
Hey, John, how's it going?
A set of small Gatling guns Black Fury hadn't seen right next to him before started peppering his armor with gunfire. As he said,
Jack, really not a good time.
on the other end of the line, Jack paused a moment and asked,
Is that Gatling gunfire I hear?
Like I said,
Black Fury responded, ripping the Gatling guns loose from the ground and silencing them.
not a good time.
Jack responded nonchalantly and said,
None of my damn business what you do on your time off.
dropping the silent Gatling, Black Fury said,
That's right. I'm on PTO. It was on my Outlook calendar. Sabye.
Jack sighed and said,
Sorry, John, but they're recalling you from your holiday.
Black Fury stopped in place as another set of the small Gatling guns popped up, spraying his armor with bullets again.
Seriously? Recall me?
He asked incredulously.
This has been cleared through channels. I'm not just sitting around sipping Mai Tais here.
He held up one arm and 3 rockets launched from his wrist, corkscrewing until they detonated the new Gatling gun, sending a spray of metal everywhere.
Hey, no need to get explosive.
Jack said.
If it were up to me, I'd leave you be, but this comes from War Dog himself.
Black Fury groaned, a name he could not safely ignore.
What's that low rent Bruce Willis want from me?
The spot opened up. We need you to help represent us at the big conference.
Jack said calmly.
That is months away.
Black Fury said, marching on towards the house.
Timetable's moved up.
Jack said with an almost audible shrug.
Some big issue the other side says is urgent.
Yeah,
Black Fury sighed, face palming in the armor with a slight clink.
urgent. That's what the Union of the Snake always says. You know I'm doing something important right now.
Well, finish up and get back to base.
Jack said.
We leave in 24 hours. Oh, and give Patty my love.
The line went dead, and Black Fury looked towards the house, now perhaps halfway to his destination. Walking forward, the suit beeped whenever he came close to impaling his legs on wickedly sharp metal spikes placed at angles to the high grass. He debated using the wrist flamethrower, but thought it might send the wrong message. Another 20 yards, and he could see the orange line, another plastic segmented section of protection for heavy-duty electrical cord. He noted it was bigger than the last one and heard the click of the next weapon system. He was very surprised to see a line of 30 caliber Browning machine guns pop straight up 4 feet from the grass. Boards with grass and dirt atop each one and a swivel mount. He dived for the ground as the guns erupted with gunfire, each spraying left and right at perhaps a 35-degree angle. From the ground, he saw the nearest gun hungrily consume its belt-fed supply of ammunition, firing relentlessly for more than a minute. After the ammunition was expended, he stood up, only to see a second line of Browning slowly rising. Angrily, he took aim with his wrist and fired 3 rockets, clearing a path through the guns while the rest fired away. With a grunt, he kept walking, now only 40 yards from the front door. He saw a hammock strung from a corner of the covered porch and a small table near it, suitable for a cool drink or a dog-eared book. The air was still, and the gunfire had scared off any wildlife around.
If you've made it this far,
Wrecking Ball's voice sounded out, as if the speakers were coming directly from the house.
you're a serious threat. Either way, some automated calls have gone out to some nasty people with the really big guns. Next up, the red line. Past that, and you'll be taken as seriously as an all-out invasion. Last chance.
Patricia,
Black Fury yelled.
this is important. Damn it, I need to talk to you.
He considered things for a moment and said under his breath,
Screw this.
Frustrated, he turned back and walked to the van. Activating a toggle in his visor display, the driver's side opened up for him on his approach. He climbed in, saw the door close behind him, and plugged his gloves into the pig system via 2 sleeves that protruded from the dashboard. Outside, the pig underwent a kind of transformation. The front end and cab elevated 20 feet in the air, while the middle section popped out a set of armored treads which settled on the ground, and popped out a rack of orange-tipped missiles and 3 Gatlings. The back doors opened and a double-barreled 20mm cannon poked out from the rear, its barrel telescoping into place. Metal spiked chain poked from the grooves of the front and back tires, and the rear hubcaps extended an inch, spinning out metallic, fan-like blades that spun menacing. Speakers on the pig sounded out with Black Fury's voice.
You want it the hard way, Patricia? Hard way it is.
The pig lurched forward, the treads extending on black metal legs to help the vehicle stay upright as it descended the 2 feet to the surface of the yard. The Gatling guns roared, cutting down a huge section of the shotgun line and the Browning. The engine screamed as the pig plowed onward, missiles firing off at spike emplacements and making a flame-bordered path.
We ain't playing no more, Patricia.
As the pig rolled over the red line, a wide swath of spray paint, a line of RPGs mere yards from the front porch popped up from the well-trimmed grass near the house, firing immediately. Not wanting to hit the house, Black Fury slammed down on his last chance move, a big red button in the center of the dashboard. A shimmering reddish sphere of energy appeared around the suddenly immobile war pig, and the rocket-propelled grenades exploded against its surface harmlessly. At that moment, mortars let loose a hail of shells that arced over the house and slammed into the shield, forcing it to flicker, hold steady. The ground erupted in incendiary charges, and a huge wall of flame surrounding the house in a circle buffeted the energy field harmlessly. After a few moments, the ground itself erupted in a heaving wave as huge metal plates lifted the ground up in multiple spots, including one right beneath the pig. The vehicle was upended and tossed on its back, the energy field dissipating like a broken comb. Black Fury's armored shape was ejected from the downed pig, and he landed with a thud right inside the perimeter of the manicured grass.
Patricia!
He yelled angrily. He sprinted across the yard, using his jet boots to vault away from a landmine explosion at the last possible second, landing with a heavy thud on the porch. The wood underneath him cracked slightly as his feet made contact.
Wow. You've made it this far.
Patricia's voice came from everywhere around him.
A true weapon of mass destruction to get past all of that. And that only means... Hang on 1 second.
I'm coming in, Patricia.
He bellowed. Black Fury reached his armored hand towards the door, and the world went white. A gigantic explosion rocked the building, and he was hurled into the air 30 feet. He tried to fire his boot jets and found them jammed with debris, making him sigh. He landed on his back in the shattered wreckage of the house near a very large metal trapdoor with a grill that looked like a loudspeaker at the center. Groaning, he got himself up into a seated position.
Oh, hello, John.
Wrecking Ball's voice said sadly.
If you're alive and hearing this, it must be you, right? Who else is tough enough, stupid enough to survive that much Semtex and still be breathing? Oh, please, John. Don't you go all hopeful romantic on me, thinking I didn't have much of a head start to chase me down and survive whatever other traps I've laid. Do you actually think this is some military melodrama where the wounded soldier gets the girl? This place is ash, like our relationship. It's over. Do us both a favor, John. Forget us. Only speak to me at work when it's about our respective jobs.
Black Fury slams an armored fist on the grill. At that moment, Flaggie piped up.
Incoming message. Priority override. Jack attack.
Oh, John,
Jack's voice came through.
don't forget the pig. War Dog wants to show off our toy.
The line clicked dead. With a sigh, Black Fury looked over to the twisted metal remnants of the war pig and shook his head exhaustedly. He pulled a folded letter out of his armor and opened it, reading its first line again. The Veterans Administration has determined that we are able to disperse the bereavement benefits of John Perry Sr. to you, John Perry Jr., his next of kin.
Ooh la la, this world is full of secrets. A boy like me can have some real fun here.
Call if you need anything. I got the cavalry on standby.
I'm just here to watch the mastery on display. Pick up a trick or two.
You've had your visit, you've had your fun, but now it's time to go home.